In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on November 8, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Florida Atlantic versus Loyola Chicago. The college basketball season's opening game is upon us, featuring a clash between 2 prestigious programs on Wednesday, November 8th. Loyola Chicago will face off against number 10 ranked Florida Atlantic in the Barstool Invitational, taking place in Chicago. Loyola Chicago struggled in their debut season in the A-10 last year, prompting them to recruit several impactful transfers. In contrast, Florida Atlantic maintained the majority of their roster from last season's Final Four run. Florida Atlantic enjoyed a remarkable season last year, advancing all the way to the Final Four. They have managed to retain their core players this season, as players who might have left for nil deals opted to stay. Elijah Martin, who considered the NBA draft, decided to return after averaging 13.4 points last season. The team also excels defensively, and in this matchup, their defense will be crucial. If their defense steps up, Florida Atlantic should have no trouble securing a convincing win. This serves as an early season test for Loyola Chicago, who faced challenges in their inaugural year in the A-10. Their roster was notably youthful last season, but the experience gained should benefit them this year. Philip Alston, who averaged 15 points and shot 40% from beyond the arc last season, will play a pivotal role. Red Dolan, a significant transfer from the Ivy League, averaged 13 points while shooting 42.5% from the field. His presence is expected to be impactful. Florida Atlantic returns most of their Final Four team and looks poised to make a strong tournament run this year. The duo of Martin and Davis presents a formidable offensive threat, while Golden adds a significant interior presence to the team. In contrast, Loyola Chicago struggled with rebounding last season, ranking 348th in the nation. Golden's size could pose a challenge for Loyola Chicago's 6'6" Alston around the rim on offense. The Owls exhibited a 3-point shooting proficiency, converting nearly 38% of their attempts last season, while the Ramblers ranked 222nd in 3-point defense. This could be a deciding factor in the outcome of Wednesday's game. While Loyola Chicago is expected to improve this season, it may not be evident in this matchup. Florida Atlantic possesses a team that returns key contributors from last year's Final Four run. While they might face more challenges as newcomers to a new conference, this game shouldn't be one of them. The Owls are currently well-positioned, boasting a lineup that closely mirrors last year's Final Four squad. If there's any concern, it's their ability to close out games, as they may not replicate last season's impressive record of 11-2 in games decided by 5 points or fewer. Rebounding and depth will be vital for their success this season, and they seem to have the personnel to address those concerns. As for Loyola Chicago, they are likely to show significant improvement this year due to the added experience in the Atlantic 10 Conference and the contributions from returning players. Nevertheless, it may not manifest in this opening game. Florida Atlantic enjoyed a strong season last year and retains an impressive talent pool. Key players like Martin are expected to deliver standout performances, and it's doubtful that Loyola Chicago's offense possesses the firepower to keep this game close. While Loyola Chicago's newcomers show promise, it's prudent to wait and see how they integrate with the team's 7 returning players before wagering on a tight spread. So the Florida Atlantic Owls to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. I anticipate an exciting game on Wednesday, with Florida Atlantic's returning stars contributing significant scoring and Loyola's new arrivals adding a fresh dimension to their offensive arsenal. Both teams maintained a similar pace last season, averaging around 69 and 70 possessions per game, ensuring that the game's flow and scoring opportunities remain consistent on opening night. Additionally, I believe the total underestimates the potential of the Ramblers. While they weren't known for offensive prowess last season, they have bolstered their roster significantly significantly, both in the front court and backcourt through the transfer portal. They've also added 2 intriguing freshmen to the mix. In terms of the total, it often went over in both Florida Atlantic and Loyola Chicago's regular season games last season. Both teams have fluid offenses, where three-point shooting plays a pivotal role in their success. I anticipate a back-and-forth battle for most of the evening, with the Owls eventually pulling away. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas Tech Red versus Texas Agricultural and Mechanical. In the early stages of the college basketball season, attention turns to an intriguing matchup as the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce Lions face off against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Lions are eager to redeem themselves after a tough season opener against formidable Texas Agricultural and Mechanical. On the other hand, the Red Raiders, under the new leadership of Coach Grant McCasland, are raring to start their campaign on a high note. With both teams hungry for victory, this game promises to be a strategic and skillful chess match. The Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce Lions didn't just stumble in their season opener, they were outmatched, outscored, and outplayed in every aspect of the game. Their 0-1 record came after a 32-point loss to Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, highlighting their offensive struggles against top-tier opponents. Scoring just 46 points showcased the Lions' need for offensive improvement. Jerome Brewer Jr., the leading scorer with 13 points, must find more scoring opportunities, and the team must diversify its attack. Defensively, the Lions also struggled, appearing a step behind their opponents throughout the game. Their inability to contain transitions and close-out shooters resulted in giving up 78 points. Scoring 48 points placed Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce 289th in the nation, with a field goal shooting percentage of 29.6% ranking 285th, and a three-point shooting percentage of 14.3% ranking 287th. Allowing 78 points ranked them 216th. To contend against Texas Tech, the Lions must harness their tenacity. The team showed in the final 5 games of the previous season that they are capable of scoring in the high 70 seconds and 80 seconds, but consistency is crucial. The Lions need to regroup, focus on ball movement, and tighten their defense. With the right adjustments and a more aggressive approach, the Lions can pose a formidable challenge to their Big 12 counterparts. Texas Tech enters the season with a fresh start, carrying the weight of expectations. The Red Raiders fans are eager to see their team in action, and hopes are high for a turnaround after a disappointing 5-13 record against Big 12 opponents last season. With a new coach and an infusion of new talent, the Red Raiders are poised for a new beginning under Coach Grant McCasland. McCasland's approach to rebuilding the roster, primarily through the transfer portal, emphasizes experience over untested talent. The addition of seasoned players from power conference programs is expected to bring a blend of maturity and tenacity to the team. The departure of key players such as Pickdawgz has created opportunities for new talents to step up. Returning sharpshooter Pop Isaacs, who averaged 11.5 points last season, is a crucial offensive asset. The true test for the Red Raiders will be how quickly the team can gel. The mix of returning talent and new faces doesn't guarantee success. It requires time and teamwork to develop chemistry in defensive schemes, offensive sets, and in-game cohesion. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are expected to dominate their home opener. With a roster filled with seasoned transfers and the offensive firepower of Pop Isaacs, they appear formidable. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce, still reeling from a heavy loss, faces a challenge in improving their offensive output against a team likely to be defensively sturdier under McCasland's leadership. Texas Tech's blend of experience and fresh talent tips the scales in their favor. Although Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce has the benefit of having a game under their belt, their previous encounter with Texas Agricultural and Mechanical was a one-sided loss. The Lions struggled with shooting and defensive stops, while Texas Tech, despite their struggles in the Big 12 last season, showed strength in non-conference play. It's expected that Texas Tech will begin the season on a strong note with a resounding victory over Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce. Anticipate the Red Raiders controlling the pace and leveraging their home court advantage to secure a convincing win. So the Texas Tech Red Raiders to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Commerce Lions currently hold a 0-1 record this season after a 78-46 loss to Texas Agricultural and Mechanical in their first game. They struggled to score, shooting under 30% from the field, and faced challenges on the defensive end. Texas Tech Red Raiders finished last season with a 16-16 record and a 9th-place finish in the Big 12 standings. While their Big 12 performance wasn't impressive, they performed well in non-conference play. Texas Tech's roster went through changes in in the offseason, which will be closely observed as they embark on a new season. Texas Tech lost their top 2 leading scorers from last season but retained Pop Isaacs, who averaged 11.5 points, 2.7 assists, and 2 rebounds per game. Texas Tech shot 45.9% from the field, 72.2% on free throws, and 34.5% on three-pointers last season. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Arizona State versus Mississippi State. The second annual Barstool Invitational, presented by Barstool Sports, marks the exciting launch of the NCAA basketball season this year. Game 2, featuring Mississippi State against Arizona State, takes place on November 8th, following the duel between Florida Atlantic and Loyola Chicago. The Barstool Invitational offers a refreshing and lighter perspective on college basketball broadcasts, building on the success of Mississippi State's victory over Akron in the previous year's edition. The Arizona State Sun Devils, fresh off a commendable 28-7 season and asserting their dominance in the Pac-12, returned to the hardwood with a promising squad. Despite the departure of key contributors such as Desmond Cambridge Jr., who averaged 14 points per game, and Warren Washington, a defensive stalwart grabbing 6.9 rebounds per match, the Sun Devils remain a formidable force. Playmaker Frankie Collins, dishing out 4.3 assists, also played a pivotal role in last season's success. However, with these court generals moving on, head coach Tommy Lloyd faces the task of strategic reformation. The Sun Devils have reloaded, counting on the return of sharpshooter Mason Harrell and the imposing presence of Nate Martin in the paint. Harrell, who boasted a scorching 40% three-point shooting last season, and Martin, expected to increase his 4.5 points per game contribution, are poised to step up as leaders. The spotlight is also on the new recruits, including the Florida duo of 6'9" Chewing Thatch Gatgek and guard Elijah Kennedy. Gatgek's size and Kennedy's scoring instincts are expected to fill the void and elevate the team's offense, which averaged 70 points per game. On the defensive front, the Sun Devils aim to improve upon allowing 69 points and tighten their field goal defense beyond the 41.3% allowed in the previous season. As the Sun Devils prepare for the new season, all eyes are on their ability to blend new talent with returning players. With fresh faces and seasoned returners, they possess the arsenal to surpass last year's achievements. However, their success will depend on their ability to gel and adapt, determining whether they will make a deep March run or bow out early. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are poised to unleash their potential in the upcoming 2023-2024 season, coming off a 2022-2023 record that speaks volumes about their tenacity. Under the guidance of head coach Chris Jans in his second season, the Bulldogs are returning over 80% of their scoring prowess. Talu Smith, a dominant forward who averaged 16 points and 8.5 rebounds per game, leads the charge. Smith's presence in the paint anchors the offense and fortifies the defense, which held opponents to an average of 66 points per game while scoring 66 points themselves. The Bulldogs' arsenal extends beyond Talu Smith, with Dashawn Davis, a backcourt maestro, contributing 3.5 assists and 1.7 steals per game. The team boasts a solid field goal percentage of 42.3% and maintained discipline on the defensive end, limiting opponents to 42.3% shooting from the field. The team also introduces fresh faces, including high-impact transfers and eager freshmen ready to make their mark. This matchup between Arizona State and Mississippi State marks only the second encounter in their history, with Arizona State winning 72-67 in 2018. While both teams are set to compete in their respective divisions during conference play, they face the challenge of replacing key players early in the season. Mississippi State will be missing 2 vital team members, Shaquille Moore and Talu Smith, who have been linchpins for the Bulldogs. Smith led the team in points and rebounds, and Moore was the second highest scorer. Much will be expected from transfer guard Andrew Taylor in his first game with Mississippi State. Arizona State also grapples with the absence of key players at the start of the season. However, their guards, Collins and Neal, offer a sense of continuity. Additionally, the team's front court, featuring the 7-feet Sean Phillips and forward Zane Meeks, is well prepared to match up effectively against Mississippi State's front court. Arizona State will leverage their depth, including 6 to 8 Camry lands, to exploit Mississippi State's vulnerabilities on the court. So the Arizona State Sun Devils to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Mississippi State has historically relied on strong defense and a patient offensive approach, focusing on feeding the ball to a post player. The Bulldogs boasted a top 10 defense in efficiency last year and are expected to maintain their defensive prowess with the majority of their team returning. Talu Smith is likely to dominate the game inside, as he does not attempt three-pointers. scorers, and the Bulldogs utilize a deliberate pace. Mississippi State ranked 336th in tempo, which aligns with their methodical style of play. Arizona State, on the other hand, will need to adapt, as 10 of their players are playing their first game with the team. This game is likely to feature one of the lowest totals on the board. Arizona State averaged 71 points per game last season, while Mississippi State averaged less than 66. The Bulldogs' offensive struggles were evident, with their scoring totals ranking 13th out of 14 in the Southeastern Conference and 313th nationally. Additionally, Mississippi State will be without their two top scorers. Strong defensive play secured their success last season, and it will be their saving grace in this matchup against Arizona State. The combination of key players missing, robust defensive efforts, and the typical early season adjustments suggests a low-scoring affair. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.